Hey there, welcome to my channel. My name is Kelly Rowland and today's video is a human design video and it's about the 4-1 profile. And it's part of a profile series that I started a few years ago and I am completing now. So we're going to talk all about the 4-1 today, strengths, gifts, challenges, ways in which it can express relational elements, and I hope you enjoy. So pull up a seat, get a cup of tea, make yourself cozy, and let's get into it. First off, what is a profile in human design? The profile reveals both your conscious and unconscious identity. There's a few ways that I've broken this down over my last 8 years of working with and teaching human design and doing several hundred readings that has really stuck for me and clients. So try this on and see if it works for you. The first number in your profile is something that you can very easily identify with. And what I find is it's a great role you could take on in your work, in your career, even in the certain way that you show up within your work and career, right? Like a certain quality you embody that can make you more successful, that can make you more magnetic, that can make you more purposeful and powerful in what you are doing, no matter what the actual job is. You know what I mean? It's like the way you show up, the kind of quality you bring through, the kind of archetype you play allows you to be more successful, seen and recognized in whatever realm you're working in. That's the conscious line. It's how you really can present yourself with ownership and conviction when you cultivate that and see it in yourself, which is easier to do with the first line number. Now, the second line number is the unconscious driver in you. It's the unconscious motivation, and it's harder to see, right? And I think it's Freud has this brilliant quote: so long as the unconscious is left unconscious, it will run the show and we will call it fate. But a great way we can also work with that is that when we make the unconscious conscious, we can really utilize it and we can tailor it into our life to really help us thrive, to understand what am I really hungering for on a deep level. And when you get a good grip on that and create a healthy structure in your life to honor your unconscious self, your unconscious profile number, you're gonna have a lot more success and ease of flow, ease of action with your conscious self. So I'll summarize that real quick. Conscious self, who are you? What role can you really play out? What's something that you can quickly be seen and identified for? What's a place that you can really shine? What kind of archetype? And then the second number is what is unconsciously driving you? What is the deep need? What is the deep calling of your soul that's maybe a little bit hidden, but when you listen to it and feed it and care for it in a proper way, it can really accelerate your conscious self. So when we have a 4-1, your conscious self is the 4-line opportunist. I like to call it the networker, the communalist, the teammate. The 4-line is so centric around the heart. It wants to establish and forge and build connection. It's a very intimate profile, honestly. I feel there's an inherent kind of heart intimacy to the 4-line people where they want to bridge worlds. They want to connect. They're willing to soften the barriers of differentiation to come to a place of unity in whatever way that might be for them. And of course, every 4-line is on their own journey. But I do feel there is that deep calling for that kind of experience of life, of what is it to be in connection? What is it to bridge worlds of people? What is it to pull people together? What is it to network and forge bonds? However, the unconscious line of a 4-1 profile is quite the opposite. It's a 1-line, and the 1-line is the investigator, saying, I want to get to the bottom of things by myself. So there's actually a very solitary quality to the 1-line. It's so much more focused on like the self. It's a very self-focused journey. Where am I going? What am I working with? What am I learning? Are my foundations strong? Am I secure? It's very self-focused and self-oriented because it's the beginning. It's the first number on the progression of this psychological template we have from the 1, which is the self, to the 6, which is transpersonal. So when you have an unconscious 1-line, there's a deep unconscious driver, right? A deep unconscious need to really care for and preserve your sense of self. And to do that through the skills and the talents and the hobbies that you invest in, the things you're passionate about. However, just as much the things that make you you. And I see this in a lot of 1-line people, and specifically 4-1 people that I can think of that I know personally and more objectively. Where they thrive is they all have had some really unique skill set. Like for some it was dancing, and for some it was singing, and for some it was business, and for some it was, cooking. Like I can think of these 4-1s that I know, and there's also a certain personal life journey that's really exemplified through how they became who they are. And I think that's a very strong quality for anyone who has one line in their profile. So much of what makes you magnetic and powerful is the unique journey you've had to go on to fortify your own foundations, to build your own foundations, to build security. And you can also still be on that journey. I think that's a never-ending universal human journey, right? It's like creating safety and security in our own life, in our own relationships, in our own sense of self, in our own sense of purpose and service in the world. But one lines they go really deep into things. It's their nature, they can't not. And yes, that can be a talent and a skill set and a hobby, and it's also usually like certain character traits or things that they have been forged through the fire of. And let's start bringing the profile numbers together. As we said, the second number is an unconscious need, right? It's something that you deeply need to feel fulfilled, to feel aligned, to feel motivated in your life. Harder to see in yourself, but once you make it conscious, you can start working with it. And the way I work with profiles in human design and with my clients is I like to inverse it. I say, okay, let's take care of the unconscious so that we can motivate, fuel, and accelerate the conscious expression. So as a 4-1, the more you tend to your foundations, the more you invest time, energy, heart, resources into your skills and passions and talents, which I'm sure you have, and the more you really draw from the well of your life experience and things that have made you who you are, things that have built the foundations of who you are, the more you work with that and lead with that through how you bring yourself to the world, how you express yourself, the more you're going to magnetize those heart bonds, those heart connections as a 4-line person. Because where I've seen this go wrong, well, not go wrong, but where I've seen this maybe not work out the best for 4-line people, 4-1 people, is they're seeking the community first. Right? Well, I just want my network and I want all the people around me. And once I have the people, I will feel safe to be who I am. I actually think the, albeit more courageous and brave thing, but the more successful thing is to move from that one line, to pour into your skills, to pour into your talents, your passions, your interests, to build strong foundations and to extrapolate the things that have really built character in you. And I think every human being on the planet has this. One lines have the propensity to really investigate that, though, a little bit more than the others. So investigate what makes you uniquely you. What are your values? What are your virtues? What are the things that you have been forged through the fires of in life? And lead with that. And that's going to attract and draw to you the kind of community, the kind of 4-line experience that's more resonant and harmonic for your journey. So let's say you're a chef, right? Let's say you're a chef. Invest in those skill sets, invest in those talents, go to community spaces, 4-line spaces, which is anywhere where there's groups of people that are focused on that kind of quality. Sounds simple, right? But let's say you're also a person as a 4-1, where a really strong value that has been forged through your own life experiences is quality. Hang with people who you can feel resonate with that kind of virtue. Go to spaces where there's a strong focus on quality. Or let's say it's hard work ethic. You have really had to build yourself from the ground up in your business or something. You come from nothing. Spend time with the entrepreneurs. Spend time with people, right? The startups. Be around the people who embody certain qualities that you deeply value. Seek them out, hunt them out. I mean, as a 1-line, there's no one better at investigating than you are. You will find it if you look for it. And then the other quality is if you just emanate that as you move through the world, there will be magnetism, right? And I don't know if you know about physics and the amazing capacity of our hearts as human beings, all human beings. We have this electromagnetic field around our heart. And when you are, and I'm getting all woo, it's not even woo-woo, it's science, but when you are living from that space and you're emanating out the kind of quality that you want to share and the kind of quality that you stand for and what you really love, or maybe even investigating, using that 1-line in a really positive way to not only be focused on yourself, but to actually turn it towards others and to tell others what you see about them and to relieve yourself of that burden of self-examination and allow it to express through a 4-line quality of recognizing people when you see those qualities in them. Whether you're doing either, right? It allows this magnetism to surround you, which I think is very prominent for that 4-line expression in the conscious self. You can be an incredible leader, you can be an incredible friend, you can be an incredible teammate, you can be an incredible support system, you can be like a really active part of a group endeavor, and likely will really thrive when you're in that kind of collaborative environment in space. But that 1 line has to be preserved, right? That 1 line has to be cared for and tended to through the things that you love doing, through your interests and passions, and also through really healthy rituals, routines of like self-awareness, self-reflection, coming back to yourself. Because there is a dance when you have the 4 and the 1. The 4 wants to externalize and the 1 wants to internalize. So you might feel sometimes like your nature, even somatically, I work a lot with somatics and embodiment, like could be quite expansive and then contractive, and like hot and warm and then cold and distant. It's because the nature of your expression is you need that range. You need the range to be able to externalize and connect with the group, and then also receive that unconscious nourishment, the unconscious 1-line nourishment of solitude, self-reflection, tending to your skills, and just being aware of if it's going too far in either direction. If you are losing yourself in that, getting lost in kind of that like hyper self-fixation, always thinking about yourself, always wanting to improve yourself, always wanting to fix yourself or build your own foundations, and forgetting about the larger collective that you can be such a powerful part of, or hyper-identifying with the groupthink, the group mind, group validation, and neglecting that really special connection with yourself as well. So it's a dance between the two, but when you find that happy medium, there's a lot of fruitfulness, there's a lot of abundance, and you really have the capacity to shine within a group, within a network, within a team, for the unique individual you are, for the unique skill sets that you have cultivated, both on a very practical, tangible level, but also through who you are and what you've lived through and what has forged you. So that's my read for the 4-1 profile. Let me know your thoughts below, if it resonated, or if you would add anything, or if you have any 4-1s in your life. And I do offer ratings if you want to get a personal, high-level consultation and analysis of your human design. You can find that below. And yeah, wishing you all lots of love, and hopefully see you on a future video.